Welcome to Talk of the Town. Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Janet Cresson. In recent rains and floods, a lot of us have been affected, including Gilda's Club in Middleton. And joining me right now, I have Linnea Stenz. She's the CEO and Executive Director of Gilda's Club Madison. Thanks for coming on Talk of the Town.
Thank you for having me.
Let's remind folks what Gilda's does before we talk about flooding.
Of course. So Gilda's Club Madison works with children, adults, and teens, anyone with any kind of cancer at any stage, and what we do is the emotional side of cancer. So we have professionally facilitated support groups, cancer education, and wellness opportunities to help people go all the way from diagnosis through survivorship and beyond.
And you also provide that support and education for those folks that love the folks that have received a diagnosis.
Absolutely.
And I think it's worth mentioning all these services are free. By the way. So recent floods, you were terribly affected. Can you tell us what's your diagnosis?
Absolutely. So as an organization, we are serving over 4,000 people, and right now we can't serve any of them because of the flooding. It was pretty devastating.
Okay.
I brought some pictures with me. I'd love to share what happened. So we had a great deal of water come into the basement, and this is outside of the clubhouse. We have windows up above our kid support area where we have our noogie land, and unfortunately it was so deep that there was water floating and toys floating in that water. The water rose so quickly it actually pulled artwork off the walls. And so we have artwork that was floating from our kids area and from our teen area.
So those items are floating in that photo?
Exactly, floating in the water. And you can see this is looking down the stairs. At the very bottom here, you can see the top of the doorway, and where the water reaches is pretty high. We had water over your head in the basement, and at this point it is completely gutted. We were able to get the water out fairly quickly, but the rehabilitation of the building is going to take quite some time. Right now, we're working on off-site programming so that we can continue to offer support for the families that we serve. But for the moment, it's potentially months before we're able to reopen the clubhouse.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear this. So are you actually rebuilding from scratch? What are you doing?
So we're rebuilding the building in that we are starting over from scratch in the basement. The main floor received a lot of water that rolled in under doors, mud. So all of the flooring on the main floor has been completely destroyed, and our upstairs is able to be saved. So we are moving everything upstairs that we can. We have pods on site where we're putting our furniture and so on that can be saved, and we're in the process of finding out what our next steps are.
You folks were busy before, but now you're super busy. So you mentioned that you are looking for off-site locations where you can continue to offer your services and programs. How do people find out where those sites are and how to use them?
Of course. So we are in negotiations right now with a number of different groups that are willing to offer donated space to us. So we're going to be creating something of a mosaic of where those programs are going to be offered. So we have an online calendar at gildasclubmadison.org that as we're lining up those spaces, it's going to be popping up on the calendar in different places so that you'll be able to see where those events are happening and how you can participate in them. The majority of our programs are for our members. Membership is also free. For those things that are marked public, those are free public events, and people can attend as much or as little as they wish.
Okay, so these members of yours, volunteers and other folks, how are they helping? And what can folks that are maybe new to Gilda's do to help you during this time? We
have been overwhelmed by the kindness that we have seen. You know, we learned that we're blessed in that we have flood insurance. We do have a $100,000 deductible that we're trying to meet. But we have volunteers who have been coming out and working with us. They've been helping to pull out the items that have been destroyed, to help us categorize them, to make sure that we're claiming them in the insurance claim. We've had people reach out on our website to offer up donations, which is fantastic, to help us meet that deductible. We've had people reach out to offer up office space. We're working with a partner, Exact Sciences, on moving our offices right now so that we can continue to host our fundraisers and continue our work as best we can, offering one-to-one individual counseling as well as programming.
You mentioned a fundraiser, and you have one coming up, don't you? It's a golf outing?
Yep, September 10th. We have what we call Red Doors Golf. It is the best tasting round of golf because there are area restaurants that host a food tasting at almost every hole. And so if you like food, our golf outing is for you.
All right. We're out of time. I'm so sorry. I wish we could keep going. Linnea Stenz, Executive Director and CEO of Gilda's Club. Maybe you can reach out and help with time, money, or other. We have more Talk of the Town coming right after the break.